Hey there, if this is our first time meeting, I'm Kenny here with Jeremy. And what undomesticated animal would make a great pet today?
That's not a very common word, undomesticated. Okay, what we mean by that is undomesticated is anything that's not like a normal pet, right? You can, technically domesticate anything. But
Wait, so like sheep or like cattle that we domesticated, they would still be considered part of this new wild animal because they are not domesticated as pets.
I suppose so. We might as well, because I mean, ultimately the category is for our purposes, right? Although with that said, I don't feel like a sheep would make the coolest pet. I feel like there are others. I mean, among compared to the other things that we could come up with. Like, what's something that you just can't have? That's great. I feel like there's a lot of like jungle, uh, like marsupial and monkey animals that would be cool to have around. Like, let me see, like a lemur, like those things in Madagascar. If you could get it to
Right.
not be crazy all the time, I guess that's a problem with it when it comes to monkeys, though. In general, is the how do you control that kind of thing? Some people do that though. That would count, right? That's not a normal domesticated animal. Could you think you could teach a monkey to do like fancy things, like
We have
neat things?
don't we have movies like with circuses and stuff where monkeys
Yeah,
do things that we kind of want them to do?
yeah, and so I guess you got. Really, that begs the question of we said what makes the best pet? Like what kind of pet for what purposes? Like, yeah, I feel like you could train a monkey to do chores, like take care of your house for you, and that would be nice. That would be convenient. And it seems like it would be a halfway decent companion. Although there's two different things right going on right here. There's a companionship and there's the like the utility of this pet. So like a kangaroo. I can't
Kangaroos are
imagine would
jacked.
be a or what?
Kangaroos are jacked. I don't know if you know. They can
Oh
like
yeah,
I've
they'll
seen some kangaroo
mess with you.
videos. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they knock each other out. They strangle. They know like submission holds and stuff, and can like they choke. I seen a kangaroo choke another kangaroo with a rear naked choke, and if you see the kangaroos, they're like actually massive. They have like veins
They
popping
are
up
big, yeah.
everywhere. They look like they're on roids. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're huge.
That sounds good though. Like that's a good like attack pet, right? So, what's a
Oh,
what's a
it's
what's
a
a German Shepherd got on a kangaroo?
yeah,
Like if you had a
yeah.
sign on your front on your front window there that was like beware of kangaroo,
Kangaroos,
nobody's
yeah.
gonna bust into that house.
But I didn't know that until I seen the videos though. I thought it was just like a friendly pet that
Mm.
just I mean not friendly pet, like just a wild animal just that like happily hops around everywhere for fun. But yeah, no, they're pretty fun. I also learned that hippos are like one of the most dangerous animals that you can come across. Like you come across one, you'll
Yeah.
probably die, which I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, can you imagine taking care of a hippo? Because yeah, they'll like charge you. I think that they're fairly
yeah.
like fearless.
Yeah, they're like
Uh,
alligators on land, but faster, bigger.
yeah,
The
and
thing is, because they're like
bigger mouth.
a lot of the animals that we think are like, we usually associate like carnivorous animals, like tigers
Mm,
or lions or whatever, as like danger, like hyenas, alligators
mm.
as the dangerous ones. I don't know, man. People have been kicked by a horse, and let's just
Yeah,
say,
dude, those are domesticated too, right? Like anytime that I'm like behind a horse or anything horse shaped, I'm like skittish,
yeah,
like
you don't do that.
like
Rule
getting a
number one,
concussion.
you don't go
Yeah,
behind a horse ever.
freaky stuff, so easily spooked. Well, I mean, what do I know? I've never actually had to like deal with horses. One that I thought about. Okay, so down here we don't have squirrels. We do, but we don't. We do. I see them around maybe like once every 2 years. But when I moved up to Canada, they were like everywhere. Like you hear them outside your window. That's like a regular thing. You're
Yeah,
like hearing birds, and they're making noises. They're screaming at each other. They're also like adorable and they're awesome. They're fun to watch, and so that was enchanting for me. And
it's like
so
being
I
in a Disney movie.
it is like being in a Disney movie. It's like right outside of your window, and like if you put food out for them, you watch them go pick it up and stuff like
Yep.
that. Oh, it's sweet.
Squirrels or
I
chipmunks? Because
Uh,
chipmunk. Well, not chipmunks. I mean,
definitely
sorry.
squirrels. You don't,
I forgot what they're
what
called.
other
Like you're talking
ones?
about the black ones or like the brown colored ones?
I saw. Okay, so there's the like reddish brown colored ones. I think they're just called red squirrels. Those things are like
Yeah, those are
zippy. They are
squirrels. The black ones, I
fast.
forgot what they're called. I don't think they're
Are they
squirrels, or
not
at least
squirrels?
no, they're yeah, I forgot. I think it might
Another
be
technical name
it could
for
be
them.
squirrels. I don't know. I'm not a what do you call
They
it?
do
Yeah.
seem to have like their tails aren't as bushy. Maybe those are just the ones that are outside of my window. They had some kind of like almost wiry tails by comparison to
Have
like the
you
really bushy
come
ones.
across skunks when you were here in Canada?
We
They're
have those
apparently
here, and I've run
oh,
into
okay.
those like within a couple meters. So that
Yeah.
those I'm familiar with. I think that would be cool. I think I've heard of people catching like a baby skunk, having it de-stunk, and then keeping that as a pet. I don't know how
Oh,
well a
like
skunk
neuter it?
would do. Yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of thing. But you take
yeah.
out its like gland.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I
that's
wouldn't.
like
That would
mutating.
make sense. So
Oh,
what
that
I actually looked into squirrels because I knew somebody's tried keeping a pet squirrel, and apparently the biggest problem is they, besides just being like spazzes, they just don't do well inside of a house, let alone in a cage. Um, they've got
I've
claws that
seen some
are.
people. I've seen people with like sheds or something like that, and they have a squirrel that
Mhm.
visits them all the time, so they feed him nuts. It's kind of like a pet, but he kind of freely
Yeah,
roams. I've seen
yeah, I
that
wouldn't mind
before.
that. That would be just as good, especially if it's comfortable with you and you can get close.
Yeah,
That's really the thing that makes it a pet is the proximity. You can get close to it and you can kind of spend time with it. The problem that I came across most consistently is that these things have claws that are meant for like climbing trees, which means piercing wood. And so
yeah.
the idea of a
It'll
squirrel,
dig into your flesh. Yeah,
yeah, someone a squirrel like winding up your leg and getting up to your shoulder is not. Well, the feeling's apparently not quite as pleasant as you'd like it to be. You will be
I
used as a claw hold.
yeah. That's pretty. I mean, it can probably dig it. Like you know how a lot of cat owners they have like scars and stuff because their
Yeah.
cats or their cats they
Yep.
lash at them. It'd be like that, but a lot worse. I asked,
Yeah.
do you know? I know. Okay, I don't know personally of people um that housed raccoons, but I know of a person that's it's like a like two people away. So I know a person that knows a person that had
Uh-huh.
like 3 or 4 raccoons living in the house, like
In the
raccoons
house.
in the house as pets, like 4 of them. They
Okay,
just
so were they like as
I
pets?
don't
Like
know
they.
if they raised them, but like they have.
Okay.
I was told that they have 4 and they treat them like yeah pets. Maybe they're
Weird.
like feral random ones that just come and go. I don't think
Yeah.
so, but like they're in the house all the time and they're treating it as pets. So maybe they
Yeah.
had it since they were young, but yeah, that just blew
Raccoons
my
have
mind.
a weird like human-like quality to them, right? Where watching them walk around, they can move things and manipulate things with their hands or paws or whatever you want to call those, and the way they steal food, and you watch them like walk around on their hind legs sometimes. Like that, I guess I could see that with a raccoon, but yeah, especially if they're feral. Like, at what point do we draw the line between pet and roommate that doesn't pay rent? Because like
Mm,
4 raccoons, I guess they know where to get food. But that's the problem. They're in your house and they know where to get food. So yeah, it sounds like a quite an investment for these little
something
motion
to
rodents.
consider, like because I know people have like pet insects and arachnids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about companionship. Like I'm pretty sure, like that bug or whatever, or the fish that you have, they don't have. You know, like
That's a
you know
good
what I mean. Like
point.
yeah, pet fish, right? Like
Yeah,
they're not called. They don't know who you are, right?
right. And
So
there's definitely no like
so in,
utility to that either.
exactly. So I mean,
What's the category there?
what is a pet? Like, is it
Yeah.
do you need to have companionship with it or?
Well, we know that that's part of it for some of them. We know that utility goes with it for some other things, like you can imagine having like a donkey or something like that. Uh, for these ones, I don't know. It's just the spectacle of looking at. They're fun to watch. I had a snake, and some people would describe their pet snakes as affectionate, but I
Well,
don't
snakes
know
are a
about
little
that.
yeah, because I've seen people like snakes that are like pretty friendly and you don't startle them, they
Mm-hmm.
won't bite you or anything. They'll just like slither around and kind of
No,
hug
they'll
you
hang
on
out
the
on your
neck.
arm and
Yeah,
watch you as you walk
so I've
around.
seen that.
And
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like I'm talking about like people have like tarantulas in cages or
Yeah, hissing cockroaches.
ants and stuff. Well, I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
ant colonies
Okay, that's a
inside
great one.
houses.
Ant farms. So you have like ant farms. I feel like that you don't really call them pets though. Like at some point, that's more of a kind of passe
Experiment,
science
yeah,
experiment.
playing God.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no. But people generally have like frogs and fish and like tarantulas and other insects as pets. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I guess
Okay.
pets, they mean different things to different people.
Yeah, they definitely do. I don't know what it feels like. We could come up with some category. Somebody's almost certainly written on this. Be like the boring philosophy book ever, though. It was like, what makes a pet?
You just offended the whole bunch of pet
The pet
scholars,
philosophers.
pet
Yeah.
naming scholars.
Whoops.
First one was Adam. Started naming all the animals.
Yeah, I could name all the animals. Is that a scholarly thing to do? I always thought that was a weird thing in the Bible because it's like, well, what can he name him? I mean, he's got some kind of language, obviously,
one's a
but is it just
dog.
syllables coming out of his mouth? Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
did
it'd
he
be
name them in
Hebrew,
English either? So I
or
don't
is it
know.
Hebrew? Yeah, I mean the languages
Maybe
get
it's not
all
even in
mixed up.
Hebrew because Hebrew wouldn't have. I don't think Adam.
Yeah, before Tower of Babel. And then
Whoa. Yeah. Did Adam speak Hebrew?
I don't.
Yikes.
Now that we're thinking about it, I guess it's very possible that it wasn't, which means it was just something else. But
We
either
don't know. We
way,
don't know. Yeah, we don't. I don't
it's
think we
funny
would
though.
ever know.
Yeah. Think about this though. So he's like, oh, I wonder what Adam's gonna call the animals. And he brings all the animals up and he names them. And now they all have names. And then Tower of Babel, and it confuses all of the languages. So all the names are pretty much gone anyway.
Mhm.
In fact, there wouldn't have been any language. That was the whole point, is it begins like different types of languages. And so whatever language that they just kind of magically had popped into their head, I guess, by the story.
It'd be funny. The whole reason why they separate is because they couldn't call they couldn't insult one another, like calling each other dogs. It would be something else they wouldn't understand. So they're just like, what is
That's
wrong with
cool.
these people? And they just left.
Yeah.
They couldn't understand that they were calling each other. Yeah.
The society falls apart when you can't insult each other.
Exactly.
And that is the conclusion for this discussion. Very unexpected, but definitely very potent, very powerful. Take it with you, meditate on it. And with that said, that's all we got for you today, folks. And well, yeah, we'll see you next Monday.